Dave Holcroft runs Headwater, the worldwide walking and cycling holiday specialists. Dave, it's good to have you on the show today.
Thanks, Jenny.
Now, there seems to have been a huge increase in activity holidays in the last few years. Is that actually so? And why do you think it is?
Yes, it is actually so. I think personally, like there was a craze a few years back for the all inclusive. I think while that's still popular, the people that were taking package holidays are now starting to venture off the resort, so to speak, looking for something a little bit more active. Obviously, health and well-being is quite a big topic these days as well. So it's kind of good to combine everything together. You've got to think about what people do on a package holiday as well. A lot of people do pay extra to hire a bike or to kind of go on a paid-for excursion, when Headwater Holidays kind of put them all together. So why wouldn't you take an active break rather than do it bit part on a package holiday, which could end up costing you more, to be honest. But yeah, we've seen a definite trend.
Well, that's good for you, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, somehow walking, for me, seems to really engage you in the landscape, and you feel like you're really experiencing the country you're in. Do you think that's part of the appeal as well?
I think so, absolutely. It's just not the same on an escorted tour. You're looking through the window pane of a bus. You can't feel it. It's all the senses, really. You can't smell what's going on. You can't really see it. You can't feel the sun on the back of your neck. So yeah, to kind of walk through a place or cycle through a region under your own steam, I think it's fantastic. You can kind of do it at your own pace as well. It's not like everybody needs to be, Bradley Wiggins going as fast as they can. So yeah, I totally think that's par for the course on these kind of walking holidays. You can stop to take a picture when you want. You can go into a cafe when you want. You're not on a timetable, basically.
And for me, it really means that you can have a properly nice glass of wine at the end of the evening and say, yeah, I deserve that. I've put some work in today.
Well, absolutely. It's rewarding, isn't it? So, and you can you could even have that glass of wine in the middle of the day. It's not like it's
sacrilege.
Well, providing you can still operate a bike. But yeah, that's very much the Headwater way. Getting under the skin of a place, really. So having a glass of wine, speaking to the locals. Some of our walking routes, you will meet locals. They pass through strange villages, little cobblestone villages along riverbanks. So yeah, it's good to get under the skin of a place.
Now, talking about cycling, Dave, I mean, obviously you provide the bikes. You don't have to take your bike on,
yeah, that's
the
right,
plane.
yeah.
But one of my big fears and slight worries is the driving on the other side of the road thing. Now, how does that work with cycling?
Yeah, that's quite a lot, that one. It becomes second nature. So,
really?
Yeah, after you're kind of on the road for 5 or 10 minutes, you're seeing the cars coming the other way, you're thinking that's a bit weird. Pretty much like when you hire a car in a foreign country. But then you kind of just get used to it. So we also kind of pride ourselves on not putting our cycling holidays across huge highways and big A roads. So I guess you could say a lot of the itineraries are pretty much like British B roads. So the traffic flows light, plenty of vehicles, lots of space for the vehicles to pass you by.
Right.
Especially France and Italy, because it's kind of a national sport in France and Italy. So there's this unwritten kind of respect on the road. Give them a wide berth. Don't drive too close. Don't whiz past them. Whereas, I don't know, we treat them as a bit of a hindrance in Britain, don't we?
Well, it has been known. I mean, yes, you do see a lot more lycra in France and Italy, don't you? That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
When you talk to people after their holidays, what do they report is the attraction of holidaying, either on foot or by bike, with a group of total strangers? I mean, is it because you're all achieving together and working to, get to the next hotel, thank you very much? Do you think that's a bonding thing or what? I
think it is. I think it's, even if you had nothing in common with that person that was on a guided trip, at the start of an 8-10 day itinerary, you're doing so much in the day. You're kind of exploring, discovering, you're kind of unpeeling that kind of region, and you're doing it together. So plenty to discuss at night, plenty to kind of, after 10 days worth of walking, yeah, you're going to be pretty friendly with the people. At night time, you don't have to sit on a table with 8, 10 people, whatever. You can sit on your own if you like, but we never really find that, to be honest. It's kind of conversation does flow. After 2 or 3 glasses of wine, it flows anyway. But we do cater for a lot of single travellers on guided trips. So self-guided is a bit different because you're basically doing it yourself by its very definition.
Sure.
On the guided trips, there's normally a minimum of 4 people, just because it's more cost-effective for us to do that anyway. And it's led by a headwater agent, or a regional rep, as we call them, or a locally sourced agent that's very, very familiar with the pathways, etc. So, yeah, well catered for.
And I mean, I think the idea that single travellers will just be brought into the group is a really lovely one, and obviously works very well, because why shouldn't you go and have a good time, whether you're attached or otherwise?
Yeah.
Now, the self-guided trip, I mean, what are we doing here? You give people a map and push them out into the great blue yonder, as it were? What about luggage, getting lost? I mean, as a girl who's not great with a map, presumably the bikes don't come with sat-navs, do they?
No, they don't come with sat-nav, but what they do come with is meticulously written up notes. So you will get the equivalent to the Ordnance Survey map of that region, and you will also get I think it's a booklet of about a dozen A4 pages with hand-drawn maps, and look out for this kind of coffee shop at this point, turn left at this farm, etc. It's really, really detailed. We can pride ourselves on saying no one's got seriously lost, beyond the realms of kind of fun, if you like. So what happens is, on the self-guided, it's exactly as you just said. You get given comprehensive route notes on day one, detail maps. There's a debriefing session on day one that's given by the headwater rep that lives in that area. He'll tell you where to go, where not to go, etc. And then behind the scenes, your 20 kilograms of luggage is being moved in what we call our bag run service. So that happens behind the scenes. You don't really see this happening. So you'll go, I don't know, through Tuscany, Piedmont, whatever, in the daytime, and when you arrive at your hotel, your bags are there waiting. So you don't carry the heavy stuff. It's all done for you. So you just pack what you need for the day, and then your big stuff's there when you arrive mid-afternoon, late afternoon, whatever.
So perfect. I mean, that's easy, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't have to lug heavy baggage around, basically. It's an area of expertise for us. So probably about 75% of Headwaters itineraries are self-guided.
Okay.
And then we obviously do guided as well. But you can see the splits in the brochures and the websites, etc. So, meticulous planning stops people getting lost. And also the mobile phone is obviously quite useful if people do get lost. So the Headwater rep is always with his mobile phone. And he's never going to be more than an hour away. But, that's the kind of behind-the-scenes backup.
Right. Well, I'm encouraged now. I feel better. As a person who got lost, going around Africa, I can tell you, wandered in and out of several countries, not by mistake. Now, how fit do you need to be, Dave? I mean, are we talking serious expedition, or will a Sunday walker or cyclist sort of be able to do something?
It's not. It isn't the Wiggins or Chris Bonington kind of, level. It's a lot lighter. So we've got 4 cycle ratings and walking ratings. So they go soft, leisurely, moderate, and challenging.
Okay.
So I'll just talk you through the kind of soft walking. So it's anybody who's reasonably fit, enjoys the occasional weekend walk, and you can expect to walk for 2 to 4 hours.
Okay.
So you're not going to walk on a flat table all day. So there will be, gentle ascents, descents, etc. Nothing over 300 metres, though. Leisurely goes up to about 500 metres. So steeper sections than soft walking. But head for heights isn't really necessary on that one. Moderate, 4 to 6 hours.
Right.
You're getting up to 700 metres. So some of the peaks in the Lake District are starting to get up to 700. But again, at the moderate level, you don't really need, good hiking experience as such. When you get to challenging, this is kind of our Dolomites and Pyrenees and the Alps, the high peaks.
Sure.
5 to 8 hours, so that's 1,000 metres. And you could do with a bit of experience, to do the challenging walks. And it's a similar scale for cycling as well.
Right.
So the kind of soft cycling, 2 to 3 hours a day, going up to challenging, which is doing 70 kilometres a day.
Okay.
So we can sell a holiday to a beginner, or we can sell a holiday to, someone who really, really does enjoy getting out of breath, basically.
Yeah. Now, Dave, accommodation, because, after you've walked all day, you want a bit of a nice lie down. I always think of things like, a bit like a youth hostel when you think of walking and cycling holidays. And those days are past. So a little bit of comfort?
Oh, no, sweaty socks and...
No, please.
No, absolutely not. Headwaters' kind of range of accommodation starts, I would say, 3.5 plus.
Right.
So I'd say on average it's about 4-star. So it's a long way from that youth hostel kind of backpacker scene. So our destination specialists will look after each individual region, and they go out there, they vet the hotels, they vet the converted barns, we've even got converted convents.
Gosh.
It's good quality.
Okay.
I had the good fortune to go out to Umbria when I first started this role, and the rep drove me around, some of the hotels. I thought, wow, this is pretty good. So it's not only the hotels as well, it's the kind of cuisine that comes with it.
Sure.
Because if you've been doing well up to 70 kilometres a day on a bike, you want to eat well and drink well.
Yeah, no, you need the calories.
Exactly. So it's that gastro kind of experience as well. But it isn't, YHA of the 1960s.
That's good. I can leave my sleeping bag at home. Now, do you have a favourite walk or a bike ride? Somewhere really special, Dave?
I've spent a bit of time in New Zealand. I like New Zealand. I'd love it if we could put some New Zealand itineraries into our brochures. My favourite walk was the Gillespie track out there, near Wanaka. So that was 5 days, and it was river crossings on foot. But I am itching to do the Dolomites trip. It's high peaks. The hotels are pretty good. Likewise for the cycling, it's the guided cycling to Jordan that always gets rave reviews.
Yeah.
And then we do 8 nights in Piedmont as well, walking and cycling. Some of our researchers reckon it's the best cuisine I've ever tasted. So that's kind of getting my interest at the moment.
You're warming up for it, are you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like the idea of that. Well, it's certainly one to remember, and great. Well, as listeners will probably have heard before, I love hiking through deserts. Namibia is my current favourite, although I'm very happy to try other places as well. And of course, Arizona's pretty good too, isn't it? Well,
yep.
Dave, thanks so much. And for all the details on holidays from Headwater, go to www.headwater.co.uk.